Hey there, Iserloh here. Have you noticed the slew of live webinars showing up in your social media feed? Things ranging from COVID-19 town hall meetings, emergency town halls or webinars or masterminds or emergency preparedness sessions during this time of pandemic. Well, there's a great reason why so many experts are hosting these live webinars, because it's a great way to build an email list very quickly, rapidly during this time when everyone is confined at home and consumption rate for internet content is up. And so in this video, I want to show you two actual examples that came across my feed and explain how you can use live webinars to very rapidly build your email list, but also more importantly, how to evergreen your live webinar so it becomes an ongoing asset for your practice. Now, the reason why live webinars are so powerful is because you can very rapidly establish whether your lead magnet, your live webinar, has merit. And as long as you have a compelling title and maybe bring on an expert panel so you don't have to host this on your own, you're probably in the game. And if people sign up for it, great. You deliver the webinar, but if nobody signs up for it, then you didn't really invest that much into creating an actual lead magnet. So let's take a look at two examples of two recent live webinars and how they can be turned into evergreen webinars.
So here's a very simple example how to get people onto your email list using live webinars. So what you see here is a post by Mr. James Maskell in my Instagram feed. You see the copy, and when you read through it, he says, "Totally honored to be part of the conversation. Register with the link in bio." So on a smartphone, people will click to link in the bio and then click here on James's link tree. And so you can see here the first item on the link tree is the webinar, and it just goes to a generic GoToWebinar or Zoom webinar registration page with a logo, the title, a little bit copy, and then we're just entering the first name, last name, and email address and hit register. And so now you can simply click here, add it to the calendar. You're now getting the confirmation emails from GoToWebinar, or if you're using Zoom Webinar, from Zoom. So all the confirmation and reminder emails for the event is already being taken care of through the webinar software. Now what's happening now behind the scenes is that you can connect GoToWebinar or Zoom webinar with Zapier to your email autoresponder. So let's say you have ActiveCampaign. So every time somebody registered for a Zoom webinar, or in this case a GoToWebinar, a Zap fires that now pushes that registrant data into your email autoresponder, and then with the data in your email autoresponder, like ActiveCampaign or MailChimp or whatever else you're using, you can then send up additional follow-up emails and nurture them even ahead of the webinar, but you can also send specific replay emails and follow-up emails after the webinar. And so this is a very simple process to build an email list. All you have to decide on is that you want to create a webinar. You have to decide what the title is and a little bit copy, and you have to turn it on in GoToWebinar or Zoom Webinar. So very simple. And now you're building an email list. You can now decide what you want to cover on the webinar, and that webinar in of itself can now become another lead magnet. Now here's an example where you can make this even simpler. So in this case, here is a webinar. There was a live webinar, so it said here on the registration page on my website, live webinar April 13th at 11 a.m. And when people opted in, then I would take them to a registration page for the live webinar with a welcome video and then a little bit instructions. Watch this video first, save a time and date on your calendar, share this with a colleague, join my private Facebook group, and follow me on Instagram. So that was the setup for the live webinar, and all the people that signed up were added to my email autoresponder in ActiveCampaign, and ActiveCampaign sent out an email that says, here's the Zoom webinar link, and it's just the regular link. Everyone has the same link. It's as if you're hosting a Zoom meeting. So it can be very simple, and so that way everyone just uses your registration confirmation email to know where they need to go and go from there. Now after the event happened, I made two changes. Number one, I took the date out and just said on-demand webinar, and then I changed the registration confirmation page to the actual replay page. And so now this live webinar becomes an evergreen lead magnet. It becomes an evergreen webinar because the people that are opting in here, they still are convinced that this is amazing value, and the only thing that we're really doing is we're calling it now an on-demand webinar and send them straight to the replay page. Now, as before, you just changed the confirmation email, and rather than including the Zoom webinar link for them to join you live, you just replace it with the replay link to this particular page. And so this way you can use live webinar to easily create a new lead magnet. You can build the list on the live portion, but you can also then evergreen it so that it becomes an ongoing lead magnet for your practice. And so additional things that you can do here is to add a time delayed button here. So when people get to, let's say, the 45-minute marks in your webinar, you can now have buttons appear that says learn more about what the next step is. Maybe you're offering a discovery consultation. Maybe you're offering a course or a sales page or whatever else you're offering at this point. But this way you can easily take live webinars and repurpose them that they become evergreen assets for your practice.
So I hope you appreciate the power of live webinars and maybe feel compelled to do your own. As you saw in the video, it's actually very easy to set up, but if you do need a helping hand to set these up, please reach out to our team and we're happy to assist, as well as assist you in the conversion of your live webinar into an evergreen asset for your patient attraction funnel. I'll see you in the next video.